I'm LP Master 6, and welcome to my 104th Let's Play. I don't know what any of this says, but the F-Zero robot in the corner is cool, so I'm going to press start now. Welcome to Night League, BS F-Zero Grand Prix, released by Nintendo and Saint Giga for the Satellaview, exclusively in Japan, obviously, in 1996. This is our final 1996 game on the channel for now. And look at that 3D-ish imagery brought to you by the same broadcast technology that is bringing full motion cutscenes to the SNES awkwardly that look kind of akin to the PlayStation. But we went over that in BS Zelda and BS Mario 2. We're getting a little overview of the cars here, or at least the Blue Thunder. None of the cars from the original F-Zero have returned. They all have new counterparts instead. So there are 4 new cars, 4 new tracks, and every track from the original F-Zero. All 4 weeks, all their ROMs have been preserved, but the sound link data has not. So we are using a patch by Con, just like every other Satellaview game we've played. Or Cone? I don't know anything about this guy, but they are the BS Master, I guess. That's a weird title to have. We'll say Satellaview Master. All the translation patches and the patches to make the game actually boot beyond the title screen, since, you know, they're time-based. You can only play at specific times back in the day in Japan. Con has made it possible so we, as foreign players and players of the future, can play them at all. And that was a little tutorial there that I can't skip, presumably showing us how the boost works. But again, we don't have the soundlink data or the script, so I can't tell you anything that they said, but we can get into the gameplay. We got 4 new cars to choose from, as I promised. Here's the data for the Blue Thunder. I actually couldn't find anything mentioning the drivers whatsoever, but I assume they're the same as the original game. Yeah, buddy, here we go. Oh, this feels so good. I have been practicing a lot of the original F-Zero lately, but not this version. I like to give the BS games a little bit of a, you know, surprise, like you'd experience them live if you were playing this legitimately when it was first broadcast. This was broadcast into 1997, but man, I am still not very good at the game, but I am decent. I'm better than I was in my original F-Zero Let's Play, which, if you've not seen that, I don't know if you're missing out, because that was 2019, and I was a little cringy back then, so apologies. I don't think I can beat this ghost. Did the original practice mode have ghosts? Because I never actually played it, so I don't know. Do we not get our boost back? Oh, we do. Cool. This is my first time actually practicing this where I've beaten the ghosts. We're off to a good start then. But I mentioned that this was a sort of semi-sequel. They were actually developing a full sequel to F-Zero to be released on the SNES in 1997, but it was scrapped. I'm not sure why it was scrapped, and I can't even find comfortable enough evidence that the actual full sequel was ever in development. But I trusted my sources enough that I decided to talk about it anyway. And it would make sense that they would develop a sequel for F-Zero, but why not on the N64? That just seems weird to me. I just talked about in my last Let's Play, also a racing game, Mario Kart 64, how I was shocked that they didn't have an F-Zero launch title, but they had a Mario and a Pilot Wings launch title for both the SNES and 64. But turns out they were working on an SNES F-Zero game, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to complain about F-Zero content. The SNES F-Zero is my favorite F-Zero game, after all. Of course, I've only played the first 2 main entries. But the work on the sequel was put not to waste, but it was split into 2 Satellaview games. So fewer people give a shit about this game. They seem to care way more about BS F-Zero 2 Grand Prix, because it's called F-Zero 2 essentially, and contains more of the new content. But I'm still playing this game. I still think this is cool. Any Satellaview game so far has been really cool. Whew. I think that was a pretty good practice session. I still have not been able to beat the King League on Expert in the original game. Also, this is a ranking of your best laps. We did it in less than 24 seconds. I'm impressed. Let me take a swig of my water here. Ah, delicious. See, I was drinking water during recordings before it was cool, before all the Twitch streamers were doing it to stay hydrated. Am I gatekeeping water? Absolutely not. I'm joking. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm a little dry this morning. It is 6:53 a.m. and I got up at 4 because I went to bed at 8 last night. I worked 8 days in a row. I'm not done yet. It's still a work day, but God, I've been dying to record this. So here I am at 6 a.m. recording it. This machine, they're not cars, they're F-Zero machines, is called Luna Bomber. And the Luna Bomber is the heaviest machine in the series to this day. Not that there's any F-Zero games to this day, but still worth mentioning. So let's do it. The Luna Bomber. 3,800 kilograms. Ooh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm not going to re-explain anything about F-Zero that was in the original game. I'm sure I've learned a lot more about the game since I Let's Played it, because I was terrible at it. My execution was awful. I just went straight from Standard Queen League into Expert Night League. Not Night League. King League. And I didn't get to show the credits at all, or the Master difficulty, but I've been practicing all of those. I can't beat any of the Master difficulties, but I did beat Expert, Knight, and Queen Leagues. So I feel pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is the equivalent to Jody Summers' vehicle, the yellow one that's always in first place ahead of you in the original game, with the high acceleration and easy handling but lowest top speed. I'm pretty sure the 4 vehicles are basically the same as they were in the first game, just different enough to be interesting. But not to somebody like me who only ever plays the Blue Falcon in the original. Yeah, we're not going to be playing as this car very much. Sorry, machine. But in case you've never seen me before, I'm LP Master 6, and I am Let's Playing in release order every game in every series relevant to the original Super Smash Bros., including the Mario series, the Donkey Kong series, the Legend of Zelda series, the Metroid series, the Yoshi series, the Kirby series, the Star Fox series, the Pokemon series, the Earthbound series, and of course the F-Zero series. Even though this is our second F-Zero game, they went over 6 years without one. But we are finally at the end of 1996 for this round of games. Oh, I love it. And I've gotten some requests lately for games. Lots of requests, actually. And I hate to break it to you all. Now, I say this at the beginning of every Let's Play, so I question whether people actually watch my videos. Now, I promise I've been practicing the game, you guys. Like, I do games in a specific order, and I never break from that order. I do hope to, at some point, maybe after 120 Let's Plays are up and I'm done, re-editing all my first 100 Let's Plays, you know, for offensive content, and I decide what else I want to do. I might start streaming, so that's where I might start doing your recommendations. So it's not like I'm not taking the recommendations into consideration. It's just the LP Master 6 project is very specific up to this point in time, and I would like to expand that, definitely. But I got a request for The Simpsons Hit and Run, and of course my biggest longtime fan, Croissant Beast 315, has requested a bunch of games I'd love to check out. Because he's got, you know, lots of taste in retro games. And we haven't played any truly retro early SNES or NES games in a while. Those are not good times at all. Ooh. But back to this game and how it works. The music wasn't any of the original SNES music at all. What you would hear in the actual broadcast was some of the songs were from the jazz arrangement album for F-Zero that came out, which I haven't actually listened to, and I need to. I thought about it in preparation for recording these, but I'll listen to it at some point when I feel like it. And also original compositions, just for this, which I thought was really cool, and I wish I could hear them, but I couldn't find the songs anywhere. I could for BSF-Zero 2, but I thought I'd cross that bridge when we came to it, but I'm sure they're the same song, so feel free to look up that soundtrack. Of course, I will be doing that game soon enough on the channel. I assume we're getting a tutorial about the boosts here, but I have no idea what the Big Blue tutorial was. I'm sorry, not the boost pads. Oh, and the magnets, of course, because that's the whole gimmick of Deathwind. And this is the Green Amazon. I don't have any neat facts about this one or Blue Thunder, sorry. I do have a neat fact about the fourth machine. But I recommend making a save state for when all the practicing is up. Oh god, the music is so good. F-Zero has one of the best SNES soundtracks, I swear. Oh, well, we're not doing so hot. For those who don't remember, I will re-explain this. The reason I'm going to be controlling in this level like garbage is not only because I'm playing an unfamiliar vehicle, but also because of the the magnets. That's the gimmick of this track. There are magnets pulling you toward whatever side you're closest to. God, this song is so good. Also, I'm playing with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller on an emulator. I've been practicing original F-Zero on the Switch, and this is definitely not as responsive. I know that's no excuse, I suck anyway, but it's still a little awkward and I have to get used to it. But luckily for practice here, we get 3 boosts every lap no matter what, no matter how many we use in the previous lap. But we cannot get used to that in the final game because that's just 1 boost per lap, capping off at 3. I said I wasn't going to re-explain basic things about F-Zero, but, you know, it's been 4 years since I've Let's Played it, so... over 4 years. Wow. It took me 4 years to get from 1990 to 1996. We are never going to get to the modern day at this rate. But that's okay. I am having fun along the way. It is not about getting through games as quickly as possible. It's about enjoying the games along the way. And I won't be showing all this practice in weeks 2, 3, and 4. And you don't get to practice the 5th track. Only the first 4 each week. So I'm going to cut out the practice every week after this. But I wanted to give you guys a taste of the full broadcast live, you know, real-time experience. Because it's so cool. Just still, every game we play, no matter how much they actually utilize the real-time aspect, it's just cool to know everybody's playing this at the same time, in real time. Like, it's an experience everybody that played it had. It's like, you didn't get... I mean, you could have gotten farther than the other person, but only to the ROM's limitations. Man, I am hungry. I should have eaten my chili before this. Because that's my chili. That's a song I wrote. I've been still rewatching old Let's Plays a lot in that project to edit them all. Whew. You know, I could talk about that because I've been trying to make amends for all the horrible things I said back in the day for shock value humor. Uh, for example, in Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, I talked about. I used the R word excessively and made a dumb joke about wrangling mentally disabled people, which was not acceptable or cool. Oh yeah, we got to skip Sand Ocean. The tracks are in slightly different orders this time around because there's still 5 tracks per cup or league, whatever. But I guess it's telling us about the branching paths here and probably the mines that are in the way. But there are the 5th track of every league is the new track for the week. So we get 1 new track per week and we don't get to practice it at all. And it shows up at the very end, which is cool. And I guess I sort of spoiled it for you, but that's okay. But my gratuitous use of the R word, I'll talk about the Fire Scorpion in a minute. It's basically the same as the Fire Stingray from the first game. Now, I learned recently that people with autism can say the R word, and I have been retroactively diagnosed. I'm going to refrain from using it because I don't feel like, because I'm, a high functioning, I don't know how to put this without being offensive. I don't know all the politically correct terminology, so I apologize. But I feel like I don't have the right to say that word, but I don't think I'm going to edit out all the things I said before because to an extent, like, I did get called the R word a lot as a child because I was not very high functioning. It took a lot of hard work on my part in my childhood and teenhood and even adulthood to get past all of my essentially learning disability. So I don't think I'm going to edit it out, and there's too many instances, and I don't think any other YouTubers are editing out their use of the word Prix 2020, I'm not saying that makes it okay, because I really don't want to make anybody feel unwelcome watching my videos. So I apologize if that was the case, but maybe you don't want to watch those videos anyway because they weren't that good. Oh, I cannot control the Fire Stingray. I think I'm exclusively going to use the Blue Thunder. That's all I use in regular F-Zero gameplay anyway. Ugh, because this is painful. What happens if we lose in practice? I'm tempted to find out, but I don't want to do it on purpose. Like, if we explode in practice, do we just... Oh, no, I did find out what happens. When I was practicing the game a bit. Yeah, it just basically restarts the practice. Not the timer, though. And you get to keep your lap records and stuff. It's basically just a waste of time. There are not enough places. You know what? I'll show it. Yeah, the timer keeps going the entire time. Did you guys want a neat fact about the Fire Scorpion? It is the only machine in the series whose weight ends in a 2. Oh, sorry, I need to turn up my volume because I keep waiting for the 3rd beep, but I keep missing the first one because I'm talking over it. Because between the 3rd beep and go are when you want to accelerate for the boost. Because I want boost power. But it's a shame not a lot of people tend to play this, and I only know one F-Zero fan, but he's not a fan of the SNES game, but he is a fan of the sequels, which I don't get it. Personally, I think the SNES game is the best title in the series. Again, out of the first 2 main entries, because I haven't played any of the other ones. But it seems like the series evolves in a direction toward... well, at least the console games. More toward the second game than the first game. And I just love the soundtrack of this one. I love the feel of it. I don't know. It's not nostalgia or anything either. Oh, we're finally in Grand Prix mode. Okay, let's do it. All right. We got another 20 seconds to wait here. So I will, I don't have much to say about my Metroid Let's Play to make amends for. Surprisingly clean. But I need to go back and do New Game Plus at some point. And I said that only the first 2 Pearl Jam albums were good. I was in a really uppity phase then. I'm scared to see what difficulty the AI is going to be. Hopefully just standard. Ooh, they might be on beginner. They're pretty slow. If you don't remember, the different difficulty levels are... The only thing they determine are how fast the AI's top speed is. And I think it's always at least 400. Or maybe it is 3 something for beginner. So we're totally in beginner, but I'm terrified because I know they're going to rank up the difficulty as this game goes on. Ooh. Oh my god, I cannot get enough of the music. As if you've never heard Mute City before. In Metroid, when I said the first 2 Pearl Jam albums were good, I was going through a very conceited phase where I only listened to just a very limited selection of music and didn't enjoy anything that was too simple, and I just enjoyed grunge, essentially. And like 2 rap albums and video game soundtrack, well, several video game soundtracks, but that was it. This is not where you should use the boost. I'm so used to having 3, oops. Oh well. I have a good feeling we're going to win this race. I was so worried they were going to start it off way too hard. Which is why I did so much practice in the master difficulty. In the original game, in preparation for this. I played more F-Zero in practice for this than I did the original Let's Play of the actual game F-Zero. You know what? I will re-explain. If you're going on a ramp, hold down to keep your speed. That is required at some point in the game, but I would recommend you always do it because why wouldn't you want to do that? Wait, there's a timer for this? Why is there a 4-minute, like... Oh. Oh my god, I almost went out of bounds. Is it in case you lose, you have a chance to keep going? I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this timer means. We just won. Do we just keep going until the timer runs out? Is it not 5 laps anymore? Huh. Okay. I'm fine with whatever's happening. We're playing Week 1 Night League for an hour no matter what, so... Let's get the most out of it. Well, I'm sure it's only 53 minutes tops, like the rest of the BS games. Should I go ahead and talk about the distinction between them? Sometimes in the title of a Satellaview game, it will say BS Bon at the end, and sometimes it will say BS at the beginning if you look at the actual Japanese title. That it doesn't seem to be an accident. When it is a full remake or a game with enough new content, like BS Zelda or this, what's that sound mean? That's when it has BS at the front. But other games like just the broadcast versions of the same exact game with little to no changes, we haven't come across too many of those yet, if any. Except in America, where it seems that way with BS Yoshi's Panapon, which is just Tetris Attack. But that is Japan's only release of the game Tetris Attack. Did we just lap last place? Wait, that means there's no other cars. It's just the 4. There's no more of those generic green and purple cars to rank behind. Unless they just disappear at a certain point? I don't know. There is not much documentation on this game. I guess we're just going for a best lap time now. Okay, but I hope that clears things up for you Satellaview name enthusiasts, because people get them confused a lot. But I will be designated between BS version and just having BS at the start, because I feel like there is a significant difference in the quality of game you're going to receive. You want to look out for things like BS Zelda and BS F-Zero instead of Dr. Mario BS version, which is essentially just the Dr. Mario half of Tetris and Dr. Mario. But that's a spoiler for 1997. I apologize. As with every other Let's Play in the past forever, I feel like I'm losing my voice, but it doesn't sound that way, so I can just keep going. Anybody else getting a little tired of Mute City? Ooh. Oh! Oh, my teeth hurt. I can't use mouthwash because my teeth get too sensitive and hurt, because my teeth are all kinds of messed up with cavities. That sentence didn't sound like it was normally something I'd say. Normally I'm too autistically proper to say something is all messed up. If you know me well enough in person, you understand that that was a weird thing for me to say. Weird wording. Woo! Alright, we beat our best time in a later lap. Wait, what? Oh, never mind, yes. Sorry for my chair sounds. Some good wah.